We're back on the Young Turks. You know, the rest of the media reports the fundraising per month without noting that this is basically legalized bribery. And they make it seem like, hey, you know what? This is a contest, and so we're going to see who's going to win this contest. And this month, Mitt Romney won. President Obama raised $71 million. That's really, really good. Best so far of his campaign. Well, not good enough because Mitt Romney raised $106 million in just June, okay? So the rest of the media declares, well, Mitt Romney has won. But what has he won in the month of June? He's won the contest for who can get bribed more efficiently and more thoroughly. I don't think that's something to celebrate. I think that shows you how broken our system is. So now when you look at Mitt Romney's donors, they say, oh, wait. You got to be fair to us. 94% of our donors are small donors, under $250 or less, right? Okay, 94% of your donors are that way, but the rest, the 6%, are where the real money comes from. They raised only $22 million from the small donors. They raised $83.8 million from the large donors. So, in fact, over 80% of the money comes from the large donors, the ones who expect something in return. That's how this works, and that's why we call it bribery. And speaking of which, Mitt Romney was in the Hamptons over the weekend. He went to 3 different fundraisers, including one at David Koch's house, one at Ron Perlman's house. They were on average of $50,000 a plate. The Koch one was more expensive. You got suckered if you went to that one and paid $75,000. You would have had the same access in the other ones that were cheaper. And he raised about $3 million in one day. Now, as all these people were pouring in their Ferraris, literally, Range Rovers, it's golden Mercedes, as was described in one of the articles, at these fundraisers, they also sometimes talked to the press and told us what they think of all the, the money going into the system that they're in favor of, et cetera. But there were also protesters, too. So first, let's show you the protesters.
Also drew protesters in the process, Betty. Romney, his Secret Service detail, could be seen crisscrossing the Hamptons in their fleet of Suburbans. Donors lined up to gain access to these closed events. They were met by protesters at several of these events, many of whom had been bussed in from New York City. Some said they were part of the Occupy Wall Street movement.
All right, I love the fake dog on the roof to make fun of them, but honestly, they couldn't get anywhere near the events. A couple of people were arrested trying to get onto the beach where the yachts had docked to go to some of these events. I'm not kidding, okay? So now here's one of the anonymous donors talking to the LA Times. She said, I don't think the common person is getting it. My college kid, the babysitters, the nails ladies, everybody who's got the right to vote, they don't understand what's going on. I just think if you're lower income, 1, you're not as educated. 2, they don't understand how it works. They don't understand how the systems work. They don't understand the impact. Look at that disdain dripping from her mouth. Like, oh, you lower class people, you obviously don't know the same things we know. And if you knew it, you would understand why we have to bribe Mitt Romney for our advantage. Oops, did I say our advantage? I meant your advantage. Oh, come on, nails ladies, figure it out already. I know you have a low education, but you have to understand that us rich people in the Hamptons have to rule this country. This should be sickening to all of us. One of the ladies bragged to one of the reporters, hey, do you know how generous we are? And she said, look, my husband, who, by the way, had supported Obama last time around, and he said, oh, he bit the hand that fed him. In other words, how dare you not be as good to the rich as Mitt Romney? We paid for something, and we wanted a return on that investment. So they flipped over to Mitt Romney, and she goads him to tell a reporter, oh, tell him who's staying on our yacht. And I thought, what, are they going to say that they got, Big Brother, Big Sister program, they're helping people on their yacht? No, she was bragging that there was an incredibly rich Hollywood executive from Miramax who couldn't get a hotel in the Hamptons as they were all trying to bribe Mitt Romney, and they let him stay on the yacht with them. But that's not being generous. That's incredibly rich people staying on a yacht and buying our democracy. Come on, man, this is grotesque. And the band plays on as if there's nothing wrong in our government. They're buying our government as we watch. All right, listen, this is obviously an epic problem. what kind of political correspondent would I bring in to discuss such an epic problem? I would bring in epic politics, man. All right, Michael Schur's here.
Your Hamptons accent is horrible.
Is that right?
It's in Long Island, Suffolk County.
Yeah, I hear you, yes. It's unbearable either way, but right. Okay. Now, look.
That's true.
We're also going to break it down to see, who, unfortunately, who's winning and losing in this fight, because it's going to determine our next president, as much as it, to me, is sickening in how we determine a president.
No, now, it's amazing. From New Hampshire, his country house, to the Hamptons, and now he's in Aspen. That's how we're determining who the president is.
Yeah, absolutely. He goes, and they don't have time sometimes to go to Wisconsin. They don't have time for this. They don't have time for that. But they always have time for the Hamptons.
Yeah,
right?
in Aspen.
Right, and he's in Aspen today, as Michael's pointing out. So, by the way, another thing that happened today, Karl Rove's group, Crossroads GPS, announcing a $25 million ad campaign. This is what the money buys you. In fact, let's take a look at one of their ads.
Barack Obama's got lots of excuses for the bad economy.
Headwinds coming from Europe. We've had a string of bad luck. An earthquake in Japan. An Arab Spring.
An ATM, you don't go to a bank teller.
Some things that we could not control.
You go to the airport and you're using a kiosk.
We've been a little bit lazy, I think, over the last couple of decades.
But Obama never blames Washington's wild spending and skyrocketing debt.
All right, what do you think? Is that going to work? Is it too little, too late? Has President Obama done a good job of framing Romney already?
Or it's too much, too early, Cenk. I mean, this is happening, you know, at a very advanced stage or a very early stage in the campaign. It's the kind of thing that you try and sort of put into people's minds later on in the campaign. So, yeah, to that extent, I don't think it's going to work right now. You have to remember there are going to be things happening in this campaign. Romney's going to be naming a vice presidential nominee, which is going to take all of these issues, all the things we're talking about every day, off of the headlines. So the fact that they're spending, they have so much money. I mean, they have so much money. The fact they're spending it on this now, it seems a little curious.
No, you know, I kind of disagree with you.
Okay.
I think they're too late. I think that President Obama has done a terrific job of framing the debate. Look, he's up by 2 in the swing states. That doesn't mean much. But when they ask people, hey, did you change your mind? Of those, 76% say, I'm now voting for Obama because they've seen the ads about Romney and they don't like what they're seeing. I think Romney's coming into the fight too late.
It is so, and I think you're right about that, but I don't think that I think we can both be right about this, because it is so antithetical to GOP politics to allow them to be framing you. That doesn't happen to the Republicans, you know.
So that's exactly what I've been talking about all show. The Democrats are on the attack, and now Romney's reeling, and the Republicans are yelling at him to, hey, get in the fight.
Yeah.
So what's he doing to get in the fight?
I think that what he's doing to get in the fight right now is, first of all, they're going to start saying to President Obama, they're going to start calling him a liar. They've said that they're going to start doing that. They're going to take these Bain ads that have been so devastating to the governor, to Romney, and they're going to start saying, you know what? President Obama is a liar. They're going to use the word lie over and over again now. And that can start to help to frame his opponent.
Michael, look, I call Romney a liar all the time. There's a good reason for that, because he's a liar.
Right, okay?
Okay, so there's 2 distinctions there. Number one, I explain why I say that. So, for example, he says, I care about the deficit. And President Obama explained today, wait a minute, if you care about the deficit, why would you do a $1 trillion tax cut for the rich, right? So that's why he's lying about that. Now, the second thing is, I'm not a presidential candidate. Romney is. It's a different level, right, in terms of civility and speech, etc. Does he have anything to back up calling President Obama a liar about his Bain record?
No, there's been nothing. PolitiFact has dug into it. People have said, no, there's no way to say that he's lying in toto, the president, about what Mitt Romney did there. I mean, you look at a case-by-case basis. You look at that GST plant, the steel plant, you saw what they did. They sort of decimated the whole union pension fund to the point where the government had to step in to fund that pension fund. I mean, that's the opposite of what Mitt Romney preaches now. So I think that absolutely you look at this and you say, no, you cannot call him a liar here. But, you know, the Republicans have said things before that stick even when they're not true. Bombs and weapons of mass destruction are the first that come to mind, and people believe it.
But it's the first time in a long time that I've seen Democrats on the offense, Republicans on the defense, as a presidential campaign is really starting to heat up. And that's surprising in and of itself, but I think it's really good news in and of itself.
And it's surprising to the Republicans, too. They don't quite know what to do about it.
Yeah, it's fascinating. But the money's coming, everybody. Thank you, Michael. Money's coming. Believe me, we're just at the beginning here, at the tip of the iceberg. And I want you to understand something. It's okay to live in the Hamptons. It's okay to be fabulously wealthy. Oprah is. She earned it. LeBron James, Steve Nash, they all earned it. It's all okay. It's different when you get to buy our government by bribing our officials in a legal manner. you shouldn't have a vote that's more than the nails ladies, okay? We're supposed to be one vote, okay, for one man or nails lady. All right, now when we come back, we've got an outbreak of tuberculosis in Florida. Why is the governor trying to cover it up?
Health Department is investigating a sudden increase in tuberculosis cases. Now, it's especially a problem right now in the homeless community. So how dangerous is it for the rest of us?
Apparently, the governor of Florida thought, well, if it's only affecting the poor and the sick and minorities, it's not that big a deal. I don't have to share that information. Revolting as usual. And then we've got another stand your ground case. But in this case, the families start fighting.